Hi, thanks for being here. It's Thursday, it's the 7th, and we're still under some really nice, albeit cool fall weather. Feels like we're closing in on November at this point. Nevertheless, we're not. We're just getting started or heading towards the middle of September. And we're also looking toward possibly weather-wise some rainfall still associated with Hurricane Irma, which is yet to do its worst on the contiguous United States. And of course, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, those states still very much under the gun for very good reason. We'll talk more about Irma briefly and what we're getting a better idea of as to the potential effects of our forecast in just a few moments. It's interesting to note that on our day in weather history, on this date back in 2004, it was the remnants of Hurricane Francis that we were feeling the effect from. And in fact, we had on September the 7th and 8th 2 to 5 inches of rainfall across much of eastern Kentucky in 48 hours, and the highest amount was recorded, well, right here in Magoffin County, over in Wheelersburg, over near Littoral. 6.4 inches of rain in that short of a span, not all that long ago. Will we see anything to the likes of that next week? Still too far out to tell. We'll tell you what we can in just a few moments. Tonight's headlines include a sit down with a Magoffin County magistrate who can explain to you better than I did, or I didn't really try to go too far, but the tax rates which were set by the Magoffin County Fiscal Court last week. We'll also have another day, another meth arrest, actually 2 or 3 to pass along to you tonight. We've got some other news and information also. I've been asked to pass along some details and a request for your attendance for a prayer chain in honor of a young Magoffin County man still recovering and hanging on, fighting for his life after an automobile accident. I'll pass that along to you, and some other news and information all before we leave you this evening. Let's go ahead and begin with one of our magistrates here of Magoffin County. As local governments, school districts, all taxing districts, but local governments, fiscal courts, school districts, city governments, the most hardest hit. Those entities where unmined mineral taxes have had a big impact and a part of their revenue stream are all trying to make up for that serious loss. We've been talking about it for weeks now in some form or fashion, whether it be city council, fiscal court meetings, school board meetings, what have you. All are struggling with the unexpected and additional loss in unmined mineral taxes by the state. My videographer actually was on another assignment last Thursday and did not make it back to the Magoffin County Fiscal Court meeting in time, in which they did set property tax rates. So today, I sat down with Magistrate Matt Wireman, who made a motion during that meeting to essentially take the county's revenue back to the level that it was in 2014. And as Wireman is also the Director of Finance for the Floyd County School System, he also could as well shed some light on what many of the Kentucky school districts, eastern Kentucky school districts, of course, that we're concerned about, learned yesterday when they went to the Capitol in regards to trying to find out how they can maybe find some alternate funding to deal with their losses that they have incurred. Well, we'll talk about that at a later time. Tonight we'll talk mainly on the Magoffin County Fiscal Court tax rates which were set. And with that, we'll start in his capacity as Magoffin County Magistrate. And we'll do so as he explains that his goal was, of course, all elected officials would have a goal, and as was his on a serious note, to lower rates, and he also wanted to concentrate on lowering revenue at the same time, tightening the bootstraps, so to speak, for the Magoffin County government, he says. He also saw a great concern with the industrial park, the future industrial park in Magoffin County, being hard to attract business, he says, if we are a county that was at the constitutional maximum tax rate, which they were at. They have, he says, after some discussion last week, been able to lower just ever so slightly the real property tax rate and not raise the personal property tax rate and take income levels back to where they were a few years ago. He explains in the following interview.
Well, basically we were forced to take it the maximum for the real estate. The maximum rate we could have taken was the 50 cents because of the Constitution. The county has seen a significant decrease in assessed values. Since I took office in January of 2015, the assessed values in the county have decreased over $70 million. And what that means is that to get the same amount of revenue as you got in the prior years, when there's decreases in the taxable base, the rates go up. over the past couple years, those rates have fluctuated because the assessed values have went down, and we've obviously had issues passing tax rates, getting the rates to be set, and the compensating rate has ended up being set, and now we were in a position where we could try to do something and maybe provide a little bit of relief, even though the county lost an additional $25 million this year from the prior year in assessed values. And rather than be the only county in the Commonwealth of Kentucky set a rate that's constitutionally capped, I felt that we needed to at least drop it somewhat. What that was, I didn't know until we actually got the numbers in. And I got copies from the Department of Local Government, and the judge's office sent me the paperwork too. And when I run the numbers, there wasn't a whole lot of options. If we adjusted the rates too much, the decline in available revenue to our county government could have been significant. The rate that we set at 49 cents a hundred on real and leaving personal property alone, personal property saw a dramatic decrease in the assessed values. So there's not as much to tax there, so we left that alone. It puts the amount of available revenue back to the level that was set in the fall of 2014 before I took office.
And these are the numbers that Wireman is referring to. If you'll notice the top line across your screen, that represents 2014, when Magoffin County had a total tax base or assessed value of $344 million. Real, personal property, unmined minerals, all of it lumped together. And that gave Magoffin County a possible total revenue of $1.46 million, highlighted in red. The reality is only 63% of the taxes were collected, which resulted in a revenue of about $923,000 for the county. In 2015, the tax base or assessment value went down to $335 million, but tax rates increased, and that gave a total possible revenue of $1.668 million, with the county collecting 53% and only $887,000 in revenue. In 2016, the tax assessment again went down to $300 million. This time, with the tax rate that was put in place, they had a possible total revenue still right around $1.65 million. But they collected more, 62%, and took in just over $1 million. Wireman's motion, which was approved by the fiscal court last week, was to go back to that 2014 revenue amount. In doing so, they left the personal property tax rate as it was last year at 69.54. The real property tax rate they lowered by a percentage point or a penny from 50 to 49. And while not a monumental tax decrease, Wireman said it is at least a step down and certainly not a step up.
The county has seemed to operate during those years and may be able to maintain a carry-forward balance. And I felt that the rates that ended up being passed in 2015 and 2016, they actually generated more revenue. And we had some dismal collections. 2015, it was at 53%. But we've been able to operate, and the budget that's been set without there being any kind of deficits or overspending, and I believe that the rate we set at 49, while that's not a major decrease, it's not significant, it's something, and without us being physically irresponsible.
Wireman, and of course those numbers as well show that tax rate which was set will indicate about a $200,000 loss in total possible revenue from what the county had last year. But as you see, it's all very dependent on how much or how many of the taxes are collected. I asked him about the low tax collection rate, 52 to 62, 3% in Magoffin County, and he says indeed it's just commonplace everywhere, especially in eastern Kentucky, which is just now really seeing the effects of the coal industry and other factors. But he says that tax collection rate is pretty much on par with other eastern Kentucky counties. We'll have more on his thoughts and the developments in regards to what school systems are doing to try to offset the same problem the county government is doing, maybe as soon as tomorrow. I'll be right back with more headlines after this. Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway. Custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785. Hey everybody, this will get your attention. This just in, literally. I didn't even have a time to put an ad together for it, but a big special at Lee's just in time for football all day Saturday. That's right, 20 pieces. Hot and spicy wings, $6.19. They're regularly $9.55. 20 hot and spicy wings are $6.19 all day Saturday at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. And that's for every 20 you get. Get 20, 40, 60, as many as you want. $6.19 for 20 hot and spicy wings all day Saturday at your Sagersville Lee's. Wanting you to have a healthier life means providing access to quality, affordable health care. And to do exactly that, Hope Family Medical Center offers full dental care with Dr. Pratt and his team, a pediatrician team of 3 doctors and nurses and moms, complete health care by family physician Dr. Kelly Pratt and nurse practitioners Mildred Sizemore, Gail Faria, Shannon Conley, and Heather Blair. Behavioral health services with Kimberly Davis, with in-house lab testing and results, in-house x-ray and pharmacy, and all the caring, knowledge, and experience that these medical professionals represent
at Hope Family Medical Center.
Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle, and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400. The only difference in these washers and mowers from new is the incredible low price, and the same goes for tools, electronics, jewelry, games, and more at Parkway Gun and Pawn, where they buy and sell gold and silver and loan cash every day on just about anything worth $1. Stop by on Parkway Drive or call 349-PAWN. Here's a new list of specials at Gateway. This Chevy Intervan runs great, cold AC, $49.90. This 2015 Commander 500 Camo ATV just traded for 72 miles. As new, save thousands. And a pair of RAV4s. This 2010 all-wheel drive, excellent price and payment. And this 05 RAV4 all-wheel drive, $5,900 or best offer. This 06 Crew Cab is a 4x4 and thousands below book at just $10,900. And most payments under $200 a month at Gateway Motors in Sagersville.
We are all human. Because we're not perfect, we tend to make mistakes. Unfortunately, some mistakes are severe and carry more consequences than others. If you have been hurt in a car wreck, a truck wreck, or because of someone's mistake, reckless or careless behavior, you deserve help with your medical expenses, lost wages, and serious permanent pain and injuries that you have been made to suffer and will continue to suffer for the rest of your life. If you have been injured, I can help. I'm attorney Don Wayne McFarland. Call me and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
Next, the McGoffin County Grand Jury returned one indictment early today, with that individual already jailed on other charges. We can pass that along to you at this hour, as well as an update on 3 arrests meth-related during the course of the last 24 hours. In the single indictment returned today by the sitting McGoffin County Grand Jury, 35-year-old Nicholas Patrick of Sagersville was indicted on counts of receiving stolen property over $10,000, receiving stolen property of a firearm, 2 other counts of receiving stolen property, possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, and criminal mischief in the first degree. This all goes back to a highly publicized case here on Your News Today, in which the Sheriff's Department of McGoffin County says that around March the 17th and 18th of this year, he stole an ATV. It was a Kubota side-by-side belonging to a Rondell Reed. Also, literally loaded it down with other property and items that he stole as well. from a local church and probably some other areas, according to the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department. He had been a subject of this investigation for quite some time. The indictment just now returned, Patrick having other run-ins with the Sheriff's Department between then, and actually in the past several weeks has been arrested several times for trespassing and other charges, and is actually already in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center on driving related charges. I believe driving on a suspended license. He was served with the indictment warrant at the Big Sandy Jail just earlier today. In the local arrest, since I saw you last, I actually, after I left you last evening for the early show, just before 7 o'clock, was crossing the Dixie Bridge. Sayersville Police Officer Mike Nichols and Tracy Salyer, also of the Sayersville PD, had stopped a woman walking on Dixie Avenue. As part of their investigation, they found Elizabeth D. Wireman to be in possession of a baggie of crystal methamphetamine and was charged with possession in the first. Possession or trafficking in meth, a felony count. The 31-year-old from Gunlock was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, telling authorities that someone had planted the drugs on her. Authorities believing that it may have actually come as far as being sold from someone in the Dixie area. That's still under investigation by the Sayersville PD and Officer Nichols. Court records also indicate that Nichols, upon returning to Sayersville from transporting Wireman to the Big Sandy Jail, made a traffic stop in front of the BP on the Parkway for expired tags on a vehicle. The driver was identified as Jason Selvage, 38, from East Point, Kentucky, who appeared to be under the influence as well, says Nichols' citation. After questioning him further, he was also found to be in possession of a baggie of methamphetamine, meth pipe, as well as one prescription pill. Selvage was charged with possession in the first for the meth, not having any insurance, registration, or registration plates on the vehicle, also driving on a suspended license. While his passenger, 37-year-old Jared Combs of Lomansville, was charged with possession of a controlled substance in the first for also being in possession of methamphetamine, possession of a controlled substance in the third for an unspecified prescription medication in its improper container, and being in possession of drug paraphernalia. Both are still lodged at last report in the Big Sandy Jail. A couple of quick reminders on our calendar before we go to recent obituaries received. The Living Water Pentecostal Church still has their yard sale set for this Saturday, 9 in the morning till 4, and it's a big bake sale too, in front of the McGoffin County Water District office that's on Parkway Drive here in Sayersville. That's this Saturday, 9 till 4. It's going to be a great day weather-wise. They've got a great yard sale plan. They got an extra week on it because they had to postpone it last week, and they hope you'll stop by and see them, and they hope you'll support their cause at the Sayersville Masonic Lodge. Their Coast for Kids program is going on now, the donation phase, and they would like yours. It would greatly be appreciated and greatly serve our kids in McGoffin County. Drop a check to the Sayersville Masonic Lodge at P.O. Box 936 or call Paul Montgomery 424-6302 if you'd like to make arrangements to be a supporter of this effort. And we'll support you in whatever your announcement is, birthdays and anniversaries too. Doesn't cost anything. You just have to get it to me, and we'll tell everyone about it. Turning to obituary services, these listings brought to you on behalf of our friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Services are to be held tomorrow at 1 in honor of 70-year-old Dottie Lou Lovely Cusack of Michigan, who passed away on Sunday, survived by her husband Randy, sons Kirby Reisner and David Peters, and daughter Mindy Schmidt here in Sayersville as well. In addition to her sons, she is survived by brother Nelson Lovely and sisters Louise Fletcher, Charlotte Elsie of Sayersville, and Kay Elsie's funeral services tomorrow at 1 from the Sayersville Funeral Home, with burial following at the Ballwhit Cemetery in Royalton. Visitation continues this evening. Virginia May Williams Howard, 92, of Cottle Branch, passed away on yesterday's date, preceded in death by her husband Norman. She survived by sons Magellan, Don, and James, also daughters Sue Ellen, Loretta, and Susan Howard. Visitation is this evening, and after 6 this evening and prior to tomorrow's services, they'll begin at 11 o'clock in the morning in her honor from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial is afterwards at the Howard Cemetery at Cottle Branch. And I've just received word earlier today of the passing of another McGoffin County, 60-year-old William Whitaker of Kelly Branch Road. Passed away today. Arrangements, I'm told, are still incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Eastern Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Sayersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
They're rolling out big, beautiful truck bodies every day, the best America makes in steel and aluminum, with their largest ever local stock of angle, sheet, round, I-beam, expanded, steel, and aluminum in several different finishes for whatever you're working on. And if the dump body you're driving needs parts, they've got them in stock. And if you need a big project fabricated from scratch, they've got you covered at Logan in Salyersville since 1904.
There's no better time than now to get the Android smartphone of your choice from Appalachian Wireless. All Androids up to $50 off regular price all this month. The Samsung GS8 was $149.99, now just $99.99. The LG G6, normally $99.99, is now only $49.99. And believe it or not, you can get the Galaxy S7 for only $1 penny with 2-year agreement while supplies last. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
Home energy use is on the rise. Every year, new devices, more devices. We are using more energy. Simple Saver helps you trim peak energy usage and pays you for being energy smart. You can receive up to $50 in annual bill credits. Over the years, the savings really add up with Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperative's Simple Saver. Licking Valley RECC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Well, you've been asking for them, and they're finally here. A huge new selection of bourbon and bow ties, many classic bangles and new designs, earrings, necklaces, and little bourbons and bow ties for the little ones. The best selection they've ever had. And their fall decor is some of the best they've ever had too, and that's saying a lot. Gorgeous fall colors to warm your home from the front door to the Thanksgiving table. You simply must stop in and see everything inside the seasonal shop in downtown Salyersville. Beat weather to the punch right now at Conley Tire and get $50 back when you buy 4 new BF Goodrich car or light truck tires until September the 12th, and $70 when you buy 4 new Michelins by September the 17th, and take the stress out of buying with 6 months to pay and no interest. Cheaper, better, safer. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. I have a request that I've been asked to pass along to you this evening. An invitation, if you will, to join family and friends of Brian Jordan for a prayer chain to be held this Sunday in his honor. Yeah, a friend of the family reached out to me today and asked me to pass this along, and we, of course, would glad to graciously do so, hating to have to do it at the same time. This young man was seriously injured in an auto accident on Route 40. It's been several days now and was doing quite well, but took a turn for the worse, as I mentioned, and you may have heard while we were at the pageants, at the Miss McGoffin County pageant, when a prayer was asked to be said in his honor by the audience. Nevertheless, he's still at the UK Medical Center. He's still in critical condition, and they have organized a prayer circle, a prayer chain, if you will, in his honor to be held at the Ramey Park. It is going to be, I think I may have said Sunday earlier. If I did, I apologize. But it's this Saturday at 2 o'clock in the Ramey Park, once again, for a prayer chain to be held in honor of Brian Jordan. The family and friends would love to have you in attendance in support of this local young man still fighting for his life after being injured in a very serious car accident. Football scores, we'll take a look at who's playing who tomorrow night and how everything turned out this past Friday night, beginning with your McGoffin County Hornets, which did come back from a 6-18 deficit against East Ridge. Yeah, I talked to Coach Justin Combs the other day, and he was proud of his Hornets after coming back from that big of a down, if you will, pardon the pun. And that puts them up halfway on the season, still very early, 3 games in. That's the Hornets' first win of the season. I'm sure a motivator, to say the very least. But they're still on the road for the 3rd week in a row. They'll be at Betsy Lane this Friday night at 7:30 after a 36-24 win over East Ridge. They'll be back at home in the next week, September the 15th, hosting Harlan. As for the Eagles and Coach Matney, 40-28, they're out of the gate, screaming 2-0 after a 40-28 win over Henry Clay. That was a road game, and that was at Henry Clay, and they are on the road again for the next 2 weeks. They'll be at South Charleston this Friday night. Kickoff set for 7:30, and on the road again on September the 15th, not home until September the 22nd. Coach Shurko and his Tigers also off to a good start. They suffered their first loss this past week, but they're still 2-1. They fell to Hurricane West Virginia at home by 4 points, 13-17, your final score. And a big game for the Tigers tonight and for the Panthers. It's going to be a cat fight. They're hosting Pikeville this Friday night at 7:30. Lawrence County and the Bulldogs by 5 over Prestonsburg, 37-32 last week. Your final score, that was at Peaburg too, and that puts the Bulldogs at home this Friday night, hosting Powell County. The Lawrence County Bulldogs are 2 wins up on the season with 1 loss, that being out of the gate at Raceland. Once again, hosting Powell County tomorrow night. And that's not a misprint. You don't see that lopsided of a score very often. Checked it twice. 60-0 for the Cougars over Jenkins in Class 3A football for Coach Easterling and his Morgan County boys. That puts them even on the season at 1 win, 1 loss, with the first loss to Round County at home, 36-54. But a bunch of points put on the board against Jenkins this past Friday night, or Saturday, I think it was actually. Nevertheless, they're hosting Mason County tomorrow night in Cougar Country. Going on to your Licking Valley RECC outlook, no big changes or expectations right now with Hurricane Irma. Track is still on. Florida is still in its crosshairs, and then still looking like as though it may jump back out over the water, head right up on the coast, Georgia, South Carolina, the border, somewhere around Hilton Head. As for our forecast, we will know more later. It's not really close enough now to know if next week, maybe as early as Tuesday, we'll start to see some rain. I'm pretty confident in saying that, just as far as a gut feeling and models right now starting to become more consistent, that we will. How much rainfall, no one really knows as of yet. Early models showing anywhere from 2 to 3 inches, and it could go 2 to 3 inches in either direction as far as that is concerned. I suspect by tomorrow we will have a better idea and a better picture to paint in that regards. Tonight, we'll go from 75 today is where I topped out here at the studio, a little warmer than what we were expecting. 48 for nighttime lows, a west wind out there moving around 5 to 7 miles per hour at the most, mostly clear skies. I mean, it's just hard to imagine that folks in Florida are getting ready to endure and are enduring what they are, and we are just sitting here in this beautiful run of fall weather. 72 for your Friday, 51 sunny and clear, a beautiful night for high school football. So sad that we don't have any here at home for McGoffin County. Saturday, 70, sunny and clear, nighttime low still hovering right around 50. Sunny, mostly clear Sunday, 72, 51. Ditto is a good word to throw in that for that day's forecast. After that, though, things take a turn, and you'll see the influence that Irma's going to have in our next setup. 69, mostly sunny on your Monday. It's going to be around 70 again, and very nice. But late Monday night, after midnight or so, showers and clouds, and those will roll into your Tuesday as well, and that's not a chance, but it is a likelihood of showers and possibly some thunderstorms into your Tuesday as well. And then for Wednesday of next week, we're going to go with 50% chance of showers, 56 and 57 degrees, rather 56 for nighttime lows next Tuesday after a 64-degree day. And then for Wednesday of next week, another day into the mid-60s with another good chance of some rain. How much rain? We'll talk more about it tomorrow. That'll wrap it up for tonight. As is most often, if not always the case, I've already got headlines in the works for tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Good night, and thanks for watching.